Okay guys, let's actually test this guy on the moon. Hey guys, so welcome back to the Joe Jaguar Show, your best friend, science, astronomy, and telescopes. I hope one of them. Okay, so this is this Amazon telescope, and as you know, I've already done two videos, an overview of this one, and then comparing it side by side to an Orion one. Now, I just decided I'm going to take it outside. It is sunset is just around now, so it's still a little light outside. Which is great, so now you can see me easier. I want to test this guy as is. As you buy it with this, well, they call it an EQ3 mount, but I really think it's more like an EQ 2.5. So a fraction better, maybe, than an EQ2, but not as good as like the CG4 or the Skywatcher EQ3-2. And maybe even some of you might say, well, maybe it's equivalent to the EQ2, not a 2.5. But anyway, it's something like that. It does have, I mean, when you touch it, it does have vibrations, and quite a bit from what I showed you. It is the moon outside right now, it's clear, so we might as well just view it. So let me just set up in the north position, and magnetic north is more like this one. So I'm about, I don't know, 18, 20 degrees that way. Again, I can just guess and I get decent tracking type of thing. This is a fully manual mount, not automated, not computerized, not go-to. So anyway, let's start this test and let me look at the moon, see how it looks like. Again, remember, it's a spherical mirror, f5, but no Barlow in the focuser. So it's not a Burge-Jones design. Let me just see how the moon looks. It's almost a full moon. I would say 3 to 4 days till the full moon. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's try the moon. It's over there somewhere. Wow, I know one thing for sure. The finder scope has chromatic aberration. I mean, the worst I've ever seen in the finder scope. I wonder if I can show it to you guys. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to try to focus it because it's not... Okay, I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. It still looks horrible. Let me show you. Anyway, it's not showing it properly because it's hard to hold it to the finder scope. Now we know most finder scopes, 6x30s, are not great anyway. I guess as long as it points to your object is okay. But let me move the camera here. So where I'm talking towards the camera. Okay. Okay, it's in the field of view, almost centered. Okay, so I'm just using a 32 millimeter Super Palazzo. And it looks, you know, I can see the craters, I can see the full moon easy. I could probably fit at least 3 full moons, at least. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? It looks pretty sharp to me. I mean, here's the problem sometimes, is that if you don't have anything to compare it, and you're just looking, most people say, okay, that looks like pretty good. Now the eyepieces that come with it is actually worse quality than it's a Kellner. So I'm going to shift the moon more towards the edge now and see if the craters get worse. I mean, it looks similar. It's hard to discern at this power, so why don't I go higher power? We're going to kind of go to a medium power, a 12 millimeter Super Palazzo, Meade 4000 type of thing. Oh yeah, okay, the craters are crisp because it's almost a full moon. The rest is washed out. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, the craters look fairly well. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that SV Bony, the 3 to 8 millimeter zoom. And this way I can just click lock to whatever power I want. that's 8, that's 7, 6, 5 millimeter. Focus again. 4, 3. Okay, at 3 millimeters, it becomes a bit dim and kind of shaky. Okay, let's back off to 5 millimeters, I believe. I guess if you let go of it and don't touch it with your eye or your hands, looks okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, I mean, that's not too bad. This little cheapy guy is, I guess, okay. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking of doing. I would imagine, though, you putting a camera adapter to here, and even your cell phone, like I normally do when I do my cell phone imaging. And I don't think this mount would be able to handle it. It's just too wobbly. It would just vibrate too much. So I guess what I would say, what do I think of that guy is, I guess if you're on a terrible budget and you want a 6-inch and your maximum budget is 500 Canadian dollars, it's an okay start. It's a little bit better than the 4.5-inch, I guess, but you're collecting more light. If it's collimated, let me go inside and get a better mount. Let's just see if we put it on a much better mount. Is the telescope decent-ish? But the mount is just kind of on the borderline. So let me go do that and see if it is a better. Okay, we're back. The good thing about this guy, at least, okay, is that it has 2 rings and it has a Vixen dovetail. Now, it's not as strong as the normal Vixen dovetail that comes with every other good quality telescope or mount, right? But at least I can put it on my CG5. Now, remember too, we need to compare this to the Celestron Omni on the CG4, which is, I think, $1,090 Canadian before tax, or getting close to 1,200 type of thing. So the EQ5 is better than the CG4, but just marginally, just by a bit. Now, I do have the 2-inch steel legs here, so that's going to improve. Now, wow, when I touch it, it's rock solid. It's not moving. Let me put the slow motion controls. This is a non-motorized one as well. Okay, put the other slow motion control. You know what? I need to put the scope all the way down. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to lower the telescope. Okay, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, it's a full moon, so this part here you're not going to be able to see because there's no shadows anymore. But what about this part here? For a spherical mirror at f5, do you think that's decent, or would new people be happy with that? I think it doesn't look too bad, and it's also not 100% collimated. I don't have time for that. So I think it's doing okay job.